Thanks.
Yeah.
We're here.
All right. Welcome to Friday Night Fish Talk on Thursday, actually. But this is the pregame show. Got Captain Louie here with me tonight. We are going to do answer any questions, talk about whatever you like to talk about. We're going to be here for a few minutes before we get started. Say hi, Louie.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
I am here.
He is live.
The questions should pop up on the screen at some point in time when you guys type them things in, like you should be doing right now.
What all are we speaking of tonight, Louie?
I think we're going to talk a little bit of tournament. Big tournament this week. Zach thinks he's going to win.
Yeah, I'm not too worried
but
about that
you know,
part, but
I'm not even in it.
yeah, I know, that's the good part. We may actually have a chance.
Oh, you're in it.
I might be in it.
I think it's the last part of the tournament trail as well.
Very nice.
So that's a big deal to some people.
I'm just
pretty
looking
sure.
forward to the day off of fishing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to a day off from fishing.
Yeah. Could have my job and just drive airboats all day.
True. It's true.
Get to watch everybody else out there fishing.
Some days I feel like I'm just driving around anyways.
Yeah. That's half the fun though.
That's right. James Hansen.
What's
Hello,
happening?
Mr. James.
Appreciate you following in.
What? Anything cool this week?
I did see quite a few nice redfish out there.
Don't give it all away though.
Well, you know, it was a very nice week out there actually on the airboat. Seeing a lot of those fish starting to move in, which I'm very happy to see. Waters are cooling off just a little bit, and should be a lot more the rest of the week goes.
I'm so looking forward to this cold front we're about to come.
You lose some weight?
Yeah, I'm down a little bit. A little bit.
Camera.
Will the cool front hurt the fishing for Sunday? Sunday might be tough.
I have a feeling it's definitely going to slow it down. I think Saturday's bite's going to be a little bit better before the front itself.
For sure, 100%. Saturday's going to be on fire.
Yeah.
Sunday's going to be tough. Is the tournament on Sunday as well?
I don't think so. I think it is just a Saturday tournament.
Okay.
And thank goodness.
Not for me.
For you.
They are, though. There's a lot of fish moving in right now. They're going to be moving in a whole lot more after this cold front,
Absolutely.
cool front, whatever
Right.
we got here. That water's like 81 where we're fishing right now, and if it drops down to like 78, 76, we're going to be just right.
Yeah. It's looking a little bit like yours though, John. Appreciate it, buddy.
What is jaw?
See that Spanish for haha.
That's right.
Should
I am on that
sneak it back a
grouper
little bit
fishing
further
all
for
day,
you?
every day diet. Guys, if you guys have any questions, we're here for you. We'll give you the truth. The real truth. Nothing but the truth. And this is a free-for-all.
It is a free-for-all evening, so we are under discussion of whatever y'all want to talk about when it comes to the grouper side of it, the redfish side of it, possible snook. Not a whole lot in the trout. I mean, they're out there, but you know.
If you want to talk about swordfish, we could talk about swordfish if you'd like.
We really could. I might not know a whole lot of answers to that, but we could definitely talk about it.
We can talk about anything. Number one bait of choice for grouper. My number one bait of choice for grouper is probably going to be a pinfish because I can guarantee to have them every day.
Yeah.
I also like to use pigfish as well. A pigfish seems to go down there and make a little bit more noise, and then that triggers that bite.
Yeah, keep them fish talking.
Yes. Yes. But once you get them going, you can literally throw a banana peel in the water.
Is it already November, Vinny?
November is
Well, I may have shaved this morning.
15 days. A little bit more than that. I think that if I didn't shave for the whole month of November, I'd look like
Look like Zach.
I'd look way better than that, but. Go ahead.
Huh?
That's exactly it, Rick. You know, you had to at least trim the mustache, keep the seal going good for being able to snorkel around for those lobsters.
Guys, the trout are starting to move in. You're going to be this is kind of going into me and Carey's thing here, but we're going to be going over different tackle to use, different, not exact locations, but different bottom you're looking for. Those trout move around a whole lot this time of year. So with this cold front coming in, it should push a bunch of fish in. So if you guys, try and think of any questions, you guys can ask me and Carey when we're going over it, or you can go over them with Louie now, and he should be able to kind of hone in on. I know he's out grouping fishing right now, but and Billy as well. And then Billy, have you been seeing trout out on the airboat?
I have been seeing a lot of trout on the airboat, actually.
Okay.
When I tend to find them on the airboat, it is going to be at that dead low tide, just starting to move in, and I'm finding them on the outside of the reef on that yellow bottom.
Yellow bottom.
Yeah.
Have you run that airboat, out a little bit further, from
That's
the reef
when
and out to the west?
That's when I first found them, was when I was probably 100 to 300 yards off Sand Key, and that's what I told Carey last week.
Or last week, I mean.
Yeah, that's when I truly started to see them out there.
Yeah.
And then,
well, the best part is those fish, even with the tide coming in, that's when people can get in there. They're gonna follow that yellow bottom.
That's it.
They're not gonna go past it. That's the best part. It's like
my
a
only
wall.
downfall in the airboat is once that tide starts to move in and I get that little bit of a chop, I lose sight of those fish pretty quick.
Yeah.
They blend into the bottom so good.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Donnie, Florida Marine Tracks, it really only goes for Simrads and Lowrance. The Lowrance HDS, the Lowrance Elite, there's a lower, what's below the Elite?
That's a darn good question.
I'm pretty sure nowadays they have like something on the box that says you can use a GPS mapping photo overlaid chip.
Yeah.
But Simrad Go, Simrad NS, Evos, all those work. If I were you, I would get a Simrad Evo 3. It's what I have. It's probably the best bottom reading machine that for a small boat.
It seems like you can get away with the 7-inch screen, but the 9 to a 12 is where it's at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My touch screen's starting to go out, and my next thing's going to be go bigger.
He's going big
Since
screen.
we're on the subject of the Marine Tracks there, guys, we talk about this yellow bottom and stuff like that. You can see it really, really easy on Florida Marine Tracks. I mean, literally.
What did you call that when
we'll
we
touch
first
on
started?
that? Huh?
What did you call that when we first started?
Cheating TV. That's what it still is. So, guys, on your cheating TV, you can, and we'll go to the cheating TV, which is on the tackle table, or the table tackle, whatever you call it.
Louie segment.
Louie segment. You're gonna he'll zoom in, and kind of show you guys what that, when we're talking about yellow bottom, and when I say these trout aren't going to be in a specific location, when you look how much yellow bottom's out there, I mean, it's just miles and miles and miles of it. So
yeah, there's some acreage to cover when it comes to trout fishing. Like Carey said earlier, it's the fish of 1,000 casts.
yeah,
That's been for me lately.
Yeah.
I promise you.
but
Half the
Mr.
fun
and
of
then we'll
trout
go
fishing,
over,
though.
Carey, you can go over, me and you both, because we might fish for trout totally different. We can go over how I target them, and then how I locate them, and then how you locate them.
Sure.
Helps having a tower. You can just look off the side of the boat and
Yeah.
Yeah, considering you have the tallest one in the area.
Yeah, 15 foot.
That's right.
So Scott Parrish wants to know.
Louie, what is your favorite reel to use?
I'd go over light and heavy.
Yeah. So right now I'm using a lot of Shimano. I'm using a lot of Florida fishing products. I use a lot of Daiwa as well. Some of my bigger reels are twin powers. My spinning rods are for my groupers, and then my bottom rods are usually Speedmasters. We kind of have a 2-speed, so
Right.
that when grandma's over there cranking on that thing and it ain't coming up, you walk over there and press that button and the thing just comes to the top. So.
Next thing you know,
Louie,
it's
get
swimming
out of
to
my
you.
spot and go back to tackle table talk so we can start Friday Night Fish Talk.
Welcome in.
All right, guys. So I was back there playing on the soundboard with Sean. We're still tuning all this fancy equipment. I think we have a little more work to go, but it sounds pretty good. So
Pretty sweet equipment to play
super
with.
excited.
I think I did pretty well.
Yeah. So we've got Ken and Josh over here, and Miss Jordan,
of a
our little
live
live
audience going
audience. Welcome, guys. You guys camping and fishing, and now do the wives know? You're being pretty quiet right now.
Were we not supposed to say something?
So, all right. So, Billy, tonight we're talking. It's a free for all.
It is a free-for-all,
Right.
yep.
So, at any point, go ahead and interrupt us. Ask those questions. That's what we're here to do. Is
That's
answer.
exactly it.
And then each one of us are going to kind of talk about what we feel is important about this week. So, at Friday Night Fish Talk, we really focus on the upcoming week, the weekend. This weekend,
What we got coming up.
What we got coming up, yeah. So this weekend we've got the Plantation Redfish Classic.
Looking forward to that.
You and I are fishing it. Lou, are you fishing the tournament? No. Zach,
I think
Carey,
we might be it.
we've got a chance. All right.
Gibbs is fishing it.
No,
Yeah,
we
well,
don't. Never mind. There
We
go.
got a second chance.
So guys, once again, this is Friday Night Fish Talk presented by Phillips Auto Group.
Yes, great to have you all on board, to be 100% honest.
Really great. Now tonight's secret question for the Wheel of Fortune later on is going to involve Phillips Auto Group. So make sure you all are doing your homework. You guys, so there's a delay from live till what you hear, so you guys are unfortunately not allowed to, unless you wanted to go down to the bathroom and watch it live on your phone. But, so I want to focus on this tournament.
Absolutely.
All right, what you and I are going to do to prepare for it, what we've been seeing. You know, in my opinion, fishing tournaments is all about the preparation work.
Absolutely. Putting that time in a few days ahead, getting the boats prepped, getting the rods, reels, tackle box, everything ready for it. That way when it comes to tournament morning, we're just focused on fishing.
That's it. Preparation and luck. That's what it's all about. So, you know, what do you... Well, we got to do a little bit today, preparing. You know, the first thing we did is we got on Florida Marine tracks.
Yes, we did play on Florida Marine tracks, picked out a few of the spots that we have fished in the past, and with having Florida Marine tracks, we get to see what's around where we've already played to get some better ideas of what to play with for the weekend.
Yep.
You know, if we're going to hit something we already know, but while we're there, might as well do a little bit of exploring at the same time. That's what's a nice feature about having Florida Marine tracks on our side.
And you know, with upcoming tournaments, or even thinking, you know, if you're on a Tuesday or Wednesday and you're planning on fishing the weekend, you play science, you play math. You know, you take where you know the fish are right now. You look at the weather, you look at the tide differences. We have a cold front coming through on Sunday, so fishing on Saturday is going to be insane.
Should be great.
That pressure change is going to help. Or the before pressure change, and
Absolutely.
we're real excited about, you know, being out there on Saturday. So again, we've got a little bit of luck. Rick Largill. So Rick wants to know what size hook on your Texas rig, Little John rig redfish.
That's a great question. It's all going to depend on the size of the soft plastic you're using, but I would say anything between a 4 and a 6/0 is gonna be what you're wanting to use. So anything between a 4 and a 6, depending on whatever size bait.
Good deal. Good answer. See, Zach's always got a mouthful for those answers. And
I forgot.
no, you're we're just lucky it was a mouthful of that. All right, so
We are on the casting.
you're on the casting. All right, Roger Bird. Nighttime fishing with Florida Marine tracks is freaking awesome. Map details lets you know what's close in the dark. Yes, but I want to touch on that real quick.
Other than something floating.
Exactly.
Yes,
So-
things are constantly moving. out there.
I'm all about safety on the water, and you know, everyone using Florida Marine tracks to its fullest potential. But don't forget, you still have to.
You can't 100% rely on it, but yes, we definitely agree on that. For fishing at nighttime, it is a massive advantage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, I've got a question, and I'm sure a lot of people on here would like to know that. When you have a big storm come through, a hurricane, something like that, and those crushed oyster bars, those real old oyster bars up north, they move, like
Oh yes.
100%. How often does Florida Marine Tracks go back on and do another satellite layover?
Great question. So just recently, Colby from Florida Marine Tracks just got back from Louisiana after all the storm damage there, remapping that whole entire area.
And then do you have to pay? You have to buy a whole new card for that?
Nope. So now they'll send out alerts, right? When you buy a Florida Marine Track car and you register it, they'll send out alerts. You really should update your card. Let's say you're fishing the Louisiana area and something changes, you should update your card. Now, if you can update your card after purchasing it new within 1 year for free, After that, it's $100 to update.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it's not like it moves every year. It's just, you know, you have something big come through. I've just always been curious if you can, you know,
Yeah,
Get something
if you're just
more
stuck with
current.
what you purchased, or
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I
that's
mean-
pretty cool.
You know, let's put it this way. If we had I think I just hit outside of a year. So if we had a big wintertime storm come through and I feel like stuff has changed out there,
Yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind that I would change or
That's pretty cool.
update it 100%.
nice.
So,
Or you can just write it out like me with the original.
yeah,
that's
I
good
think
to
Carey has the very original
I
one.
do have the very original.
Very original. But no, that was a good question. So, so we mapped it out. All right, this is what you and I were doing today.
Yeah, that's basically it.
We were looking at troughs. You know, we were kind of predicting that the fish are going to start moving in further than where they're at now. You know,
Yeah.
getting ready for that. They sense that pressure.
Oh yeah, way before we do.
Yep.
That's the coolest thing is when they do sense that pressure, there's going to be a lot of changes in the waters because they are going to fully expect those waters to start to chill out. They're going to get rougher, and at that point, like you were just saying, technically they'll move in a bit.
Yeah, they will move in, and you know, so that's what we're doing today. I think we've narrowed down our zone. You know, so when you're planning for a fishing tournament, guys, stick to your gut and your planning. You know, when I first started doing it, I feel like you can contest to this. We'd come up with this awesome plan. We'd go out there, and then after that, we'd say,
As soon as the plan started,
yeah.
we ran elsewhere.
Let's change it. So stick to your plan, execute it. You know, listen to Louie over there at Tackle Table Talk. He's going to be talking tonight about different rigs that if he was fishing this tournament with the weather conditions coming up, with the tides that we have, great tides.
Oh yes, right in the middle of the day. I think it's anywhere from about 12 to 1 o'clock playing on the Lower Coast.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do our trout fishing first.
Oh yes, as much as possible.
Top water, I think we agreed on.
Yep.
First thing. And as soon as we see that tide change and start coming in,
Off to Reds.
off to reds, then we'll finish trout after that. So,
Absolutely.
and hopefully maybe go and get a grouper.
See how the beginning of the day goes.
That's it. But do you guys have any questions real quick before we go to a quick commercial break? Does anyone have any questions? Oh, got a question. What fish are needed for the tourney on Saturday? Great question. All right, so it's a minimum of 2 anglers per boat.
Yep.
And the only thing I don't know, and I need to figure this out, is I don't know if it has to be 2 anglers or if it can be, I don't know. Hey, Sean, can you ask Brianna to look up for the tournament if it has to be 2 anglers or if it's a minimum of 2 anglers for Saturday? So that's the only thing I don't know. But the reason why it's at least a minimum is because you can take 2 slot redfish. You have to bring them in live.
Yep.
And then it's a combined weight of 2 redfish. And then once you weigh them in live, the CCA is going to be there and they're going to do a safe release afterwards.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So now trout is 5 trout per boat,
Total length, right?
total length, and it can if you had 5 30-inch trout, then you know you're
There's your
gonna win
numbers.
that tournament. So,
Oh, yes.
but it's through the CCA app to register them. So you're not bringing those fish in.
Yep.
You're taking a picture on.
Gonna be a photo on their measuring stick, I would assume.
Yep, on the measuring stick. I don't know if they're going to make you have a bump board or not. That's something else we need to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
captain's meeting is
yep,
tomorrow,
that's what we're gonna
6
find out
p.m.
all the details tomorrow.
So it's only $100 per angler,
Pretty excited about
and
that.
it's a fun tournament. After the captain's meeting tomorrow night, you're going to have a shoot, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
The C.A. Richardson.
C.A. Richards having a flats class. Shoot, I forget, the name is cool. Flats Cast Academy,
University.
Flats Cast University,
Flats Class University.
Flats Class University
I like it.
after the captain's meeting. So that's pretty cool. And then after the weigh-in, then they're going to have a banquet, and the CCA is going to be giving away some stuff, and so it's
Should
gonna
be a
pretty cool
very,
tournament.
very cool event.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
But let's go ahead and hit a commercial break, and then when we come back, so we're going to be doing the Phillips Auto Group commercial. I'm excited.
Every vehicle purchased in October Phillips Toyota will proudly make a donation to help fight breast cancer.
New RAV4 leases, only $103 a month.
And new Highlander lease, only $198 a month. Join us in the fight against breast cancer.
PhillipsToyota.com.
Good old Phillips.
Good old Phillips. All right, so I tell you what, let's go ahead and jump into the Bush Home Services Tackle Table Talk with Captain Louie over there.
Captain Louie.
And then see what he's going to be suggesting that we use on Saturday, Billy.
I like it.
Louie, help us out.
Hey guys, Captain Louie here with Tackle Table Talk, presented by Bush Home Services. My main goal in tournament fishing, as far as tackle wise, is to simplify everything. You can go out there and you can throw 10 million things, but do those on days that are not timed. You're gonna have, 6 or 8 hours or so to fish. This isn't really a time where you want to go out there and try to test a bunch of lures, test a bunch of different tactics. You want to go with the stuff that works for you, has worked for all of us before. As far as trout goes, everyone knows how we trout fish here in Crystal River. It's one of 3 ways. You're either going to use a popping cork, which not my style, of course. Some people like to use a popping cork, a little bit of a shrimp of something under it. Little John, nothing too crazy. 1/8 ounce jig head.
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have a quick question on that. The popping cork, when you're talking shrimp, all right, how would you rig that shrimp under that popping cork?
I rig them in the tail.
Through the hard part?
Yes,
Okay.
through the hard part of the tail, the base of the tail. Some people like to rig them through that little V in their head. I know when I was a kid trout fishing, that's what we were always told to do. I don't think it was technically right because shrimp kind of does the opposite there.
Yeah.
But hooked them in the tail. That way your weight's forward all the time. You're throwing that thing out there, popping it, letting it sit. Yeah, the pinfish are going to tear you up, but I can almost guarantee you that this is going to be a very good trout rig for you. That's also, you want to be in about 3 foot of water for that. You don't want to be in 8 inches of water like you're going to have in the morning on Saturday and throwing that, because you're going to be in the grass all the time. You'll be pulling grass off your rig all day. So that's when we turn over to the nose hooked jerkbait. It's all of our favorites. The white, glow. I like this brown color a lot of times. Sometimes, this glow has been going past them for about 7 billion times, like Carey was talking about. Like, see, look, it's coming right past me. I don't want it.
You just called a Louie.
Caught a Louie. That's how you're going to hook it. You're going to hook it just like so, right through the nose. Some people like to hook them, up and down. Some people like to hook them sideways. It really doesn't matter. Zach might have a different take on that.
I'd hook them from the belly up.
Yeah, so I've never really hooked them like this, but I can't imagine it being any different.
If I'm getting real cheap with my plastics and they start
for
ripping,
sure, you're gonna
I'll
bite that
switch
thing
them
off.
like that.
If you're getting cheap and this thing's starting to get all messed up, you just bite the tip off. Put another one on. There you go.
It's good, yeah.
It's easy peasy. Be like Rick and just hold that thing in your mouth.
Fish bite.
But that's how you're gonna work that. You're gonna work that really kind of quickly through the water. You're gonna let it sink. A lot of times I'll work it across a hard piece of bottom, let it sink in that hard bottom, and then keep popping it across like a little bit of grass, let it sink in that hard bottom. A lot of times I've found that these fish like to pick it up off the bottom. Some people see that, some people don't. But like I said, work this thing as fast or as slow as you think you can in that 1 to 2 foot range of water. Once you get into a little bit deeper water, why don't you throw that thing over here? When you get into a little bit deeper water, you're gonna want to use something a little bit heavier. This is a 1/4 ounce. I like to use an 1/8 ounce.
That's a full ounce.
That's a full ounce.
That's a heavy head.
I like to use an 1/8 ounce with this Fight Club
Fish bite.
fish bites.
What color is that? Is that knockout?
This is Hammer Fist.
Amber. That's their newer color.
This is the newer color.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot better than
Yeah.
this just regular old. Got a
That's
little
what
bit of
I put in
red
the tackle
flake
box
in it.
last night,
It's
Billy.
nice. But working this thing along the bottom, you're popping it along. Something that we've learned from a lot of guys around in the area is that if you can pop this thing really hard to push some sand up as you're popping this, you're going to attract more fish to this bait. They're going to pick it up. I like a jig head that kind of sits flat. Some people like a jig head that sits straight up and down. That flatter jig head is going to come through and sit down on that bottom. More, you know, like I said, a lot of these fish are going to be feeding off the bottom. Unless, you know, you can tell very quickly if, like when you're working that jerkbait, if they're going to be eating it up in the water column or if they're going to be eating it slower on the bottom. I find I get more of my bites on that drop, on that pause. Just be ready for that bite.
You know,
but
the Fat Boy jig heads, they just redesigned theirs based off Zach's recommendations to move the eye way up to the nose.
Yeah.
That thing has sweet action now.
Yeah,
I like
bet
it.
does.
Big
That was
old
a
eye
very nice
sockets.
upgrade.
Yeah, I'm really
Very
excited
nice
about
upgrade.
them. I'm gonna grab a pack in a little
So
bit.
as far as trout, that's kind of your trout deal. Simplify everything. Don't, you know, just keep casting. A lot of these times, finding the fish is going to be way more important than what you're actually throwing to them. You can, you know, that jerkbait is going to be able to cover a lot of distance of water. You're going to be able to cover a lot of water very quickly with that. Drift through a place, if you don't get a bite, move. It's a lot easier to get caught up, you know, trying to fish a flat that doesn't have any fish on it, other than, you know, go into another spot, go into another spot, go into another spot, and then bam, all of a sudden you found a school of 100 trout. Yes, all of them might not be what you want, but there's going to probably be 5 in there that you do. As far as redfish is going to work pretty much exactly the same. Just like Gary and Billy were talking about, on that incoming tide, you're going to want to start red fishing. This time of year, I find that my best red fishing is right there at like the start of the incoming or way at the end of the incoming. The middle of that incoming tide is tough. That tide's really, really moving. Those fish are, you know, either traveling from where they're going to be at the start of the incoming to the end of the incoming, and that's, you know, they're going to stage to get into that realm of where they're going to be for the outgoing tide. Do you ever rig it weedless?
I was going to say that fish bites.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's not a hard one to
And,
do, and it's
you know,
very
like
productive.
especially if you're sight casting with those fish bites, the weedless hook. I mean, that's like the ultimate way to sight cast, because you can drop it right in front of them, not move it. You know, when you're in that shallow water and that sun's up and they get kind of spooky, you know, the less movement, the better. So you drop that scented fish bait right in front of them, and then, you know, they'll eat it like it's a live shrimp.
Oh yeah, I mean, you and I did that episode on that same exact thing, and I was catching them on the fish bite.
Yep.
And the weedless hook we were using, almost like a bass hook.
Yeah.
And
A little bit of weight.
yeah, and
Somebody
we were-
just had a question about the weedless rig.
right, that's what we're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. Gotcha.
Pay attention, Zach.
Gotcha.
He just wanted to make sure that Ty's question was answered.
That's it.
Thank you, Zach.
Keep it solid.
So, yeah, I mean, these fish bites, huge fan of them. They work great in the water.
Absolutely.
You know, Rick, even when I was fishing that tournament with him, he even proved to me that he put this on a cork, rigged it just like a shrimp, and threw it out there and let that cork just float
Just
down
do
the
its
bank.
bobbing.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then sure as heck. I mean, have you tasted one yet?
Kind of like best way Louie explained that was potato.
Tastes like a potato. Try it.
I'm good.
The fish love it, though.
At least you spit it out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to
Did
eat
Rick
that
swallow
for
it that night?
No, he just held it in his mouth for about 10 minutes.
He likes the taste of potatoes.
Yeah. But
He was hungry.
yeah, so weedless is a great way to go on these. The biggest advice I can give is keep them cool.
Yes.
Don't let them get hot. Don't leave them in hatches. Keep them cool.
They
You
do
know,
tend to shrink up, very similar to a gulp would, but they're a lot stronger than the gulp. It seems like.
I mean, look at these things.
Yeah.
You can't do that with a
Especially when it
gulp.
comes to it, you know.
No,
No.
you cannot do these with a gulp. They're. I'm a big fan
Have like
of
a
them.
piece of Kevlar running through them.
And I'm really excited to try out that new color too. Saturday.
Absolutely.
I love gulp, but it seems like they're made out of like Play-Doh now.
Well, that's what I like about those is even when you do get hit by a puffer fish, you'll
Yeah.
see where the chunk was bit into, but it was not removed.
You know what's really frustrating me about the mirror lure Little John's, the Little John XL? If you look at that, they're putting an air pocket at the head of that grub, so you cannot.
You can't bite into it. And
No,
suck it
no,
up?
no, no, no. You put your jig head on there, and you'll get like, you know.
Oh, when they slide down.
Yeah. That
I've noticed that also.
it's really
I thought
frustrating.
it was just me and my.
Yeah, I didn't
Before
realize it.
I would use one pack of Little Johns for the entire day or multiple days.
Yeah.
Now I'm going through 2 or 3 packs of them, just in
Well,
a
they're
day.
doing their job on selling you.
Yeah, and
Oh, if they don't cut it out, I'm
Like,
gonna
these things
switch it.
last too
Yeah.
good. We need to figure out how to sell more.
and if anyone ever says to me, just put super glue on it, they don't guide for a living.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put super glue on mine now.
Yeah, I know. They got me. Yeah. And by the way, if you guys are wondering who that beautiful man is, I don't know if you introduced him earlier. That's Captain Carey Gibson from Southern Slam Outfitters. So he is Zach's special guest on the casting couch tonight, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. Now, I'm sure, Louie, correct me if I'm wrong, or Zach, or Carey, anyone. Billy, don't correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know. Whenever you're getting ready to fish a tournament and you're walking around talking to people, I'm sure a lot of people ask you, so are you going to be fishing artificial or live? Depending on the rules of the tournament, my answer is always whatever catches fish.
That's right.
I'm not afraid to admit that I will use a cut mullet. You know, I'll use shrimp. I'll use whatever it takes. But back to the, you know, when we're talking about trout on the outgoing and slack tide and then moving into redfish on that perfect tide scenario that we have, the first part of the incoming tide, we will be artificial red fishing because we're working as much ground possible. Those redfish are still moving.
Oh, yeah,
they're still
trying to find
taking
a place
cover.
to stay.
And then when that tide starts getting higher than the mangrove roots, you already have an indication on where those fish are kind of going to be huddling up. You know what cove you're targeting. That's
Absolutely.
when you start dropping the live bait. So
Yep.
I don't know if you guys correct me or not, but I mean, I feel like that's a good pointer for anyone that's fishing this tournament, especially with the tides that we have set up.
Yeah, it's going to be a very strong incoming tide,
Yep.
especially in that morning side of it.
Perfect timing. Peaks out at 12, and
Yep.
I like it.
Works its way out from there.
Yep. So
It is the perfect tide, and I don't know if you noticed, but every single tournament I've fished in Christopher River, they have chosen a day where the tide is absolutely
Yeah.
3 a.m. or 6 in the evening.
Yeah.
I mean, who plans these things?
now, Louie, you have one more device over there that's really important for this tournament. Because this tournament, you are legally allowed to cull fish. So, Louie, explain that little device there.
So this is a, like a technical boga grip. Not technically boga, but this is what
Yeah.
is grip. I mean,
I
this is
don't
what
know.
everyone calls a boga grip. But the boga grip is this grip right here.
Yeah.
But the best part about this is that it has the
Digital scale.
Yep.
digital scale on it, so you can see how large your fish is. As far as trout's inches,
Yeah,
correct?
Trout's
trout's on
inches.
inches.
That tells you, that beep tells you that
It's done way in.
it's done way.
Done away. So your redfish. So a lot of times, what I've noticed is some days I'll catch a 26-inch redfish, and he'll be, let's say he's like 6 pounds, 8 ounces, something like that, and I'll catch, or I'm saying like a 26 and 3/4
Oh,
inch
yeah, that
redfish.
perfect tournament length
the
red.
beautiful,
Yes.
nice one. And then sometimes I'll catch a 26-inch redfish, maybe 25. That's just filled out.
It's a football.
I mean, and he's 7'2", and that usually wins. I mean, that 8-pound fish, yes, that's what you want every day. But let's be totally honest, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially this time of year. These fish are lean. They just spawned. I've been running all over the place. The water's hot. I mean, I think a 7'6", 7'7" will probably win this tournament.
Yeah, I agree.
So don't go out there and throw back a 7'4" or 7-pound fish. Trying to catch an 8-pounder because you think that he who shall not be named is going to come back with an 8.14.
Last minute.
Last second. Like,
Who makes that that grip there?
let's see.
Amazon.
Amazon does.
Oh, so you're not selling it here?
No, it doesn't
Uh,
have a.
I can get some though.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, it's.
Our tackle provider got it for us. I just
It's-
asked him to bring me one digital one. That's the only bad thing about these. You leave them in your boat, and they're done after.
Oh, yeah.
So
This is a tournament deal.
yeah.
And the cull thing is definitely, you want to have these if you're going to cull fish all day.
Absolutely, because you don't want to, keep that 25-inch, catch almost a 26 3/4.
Yep.
Think that 26 is going to take it when
That's
that,
right.
you know, that
That
smaller
25
fish
incher
actually
has
help
been exactly.
yields more weight to it.
He's got a big old mullet in his belly, and the 26 inchers all spawned out.
Yeah.
So real quick, hey Sean, I want to bounce over to the FMT and talk about another way of using Florida Marine tracks. So this is over here, Fish Creek Pass, between St. Martin's and Fish Creek. So let's say first thing in the morning, maybe somebody's just going for redfish all day. Spider Mike. And then, so, let's say he's sight casting and he's in this shallow water, just kind of driving through or on the trolling motor, push pulling, whatever he desires. You could use Florida Marine tracks to pick out your potholes. Some of this water in here is 8, 10 inches, 12 inches.
Typically shallow. I run the airboat through that a lot.
And where do the fish blow out of?
They are always in the deeper pockets, especially come this winter when the waters are cooling off.
Oh, yeah.
So, but also you can also utilize this. You see all this pothole in this area, all these potholes. That tide's going to start coming in soon, so you can kind of plan where those redfish are going to start taking cover. Maybe behind this point, work down this bank. You've got the rock structure. So Florida Marine Tracks is more than downloaded routes, more than it's how to plan out your day. And this is what Billy and I were talking about last night and this morning. Is we were doing exactly this. We were looking for these deeper potholes around the points, watching how the redfish might be laying around the sides of them, kind of really planning out our tracks. So I just wanted to jump in here real quick because I love playing with the thing anyways.
The same thing I find out there on the reef. When I do run that airboat at the lower tides, and I find those monstrous schools of reds and big schools of snook, it's always at that dead low tide in the deep pockets.
Yeah, think about it like this.
Where they're out on the higher tide, I'm lost. I couldn't tell you. I'm not running the mangroves that hard.
These islands out here, these big pockets in the middle are where these redfish probably are going to be sitting as the tide's really low, and then as that tide comes in, they're going to move up against these banks.
That's just it. And that's what I always kind of wonder myself running out there on the airboat. I find those fish every bit of 100, 150 yards off the banks.
Oh, yeah.
And I always like to play the guessing game of looking around and be like, all right, I think those redfish are going to be off that point here in the next 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to that higher tide.
The best part about it is, even I haven't inshore fished in 30 days or so. I know that on an incoming tide with certain water temperature that those fish are going to sit, certain range of these islands. They're either going to be on the outside or they're going to be on the inside. They're definitely going to be on the outside this weekend, I would think. They're going to be starting to move in, but all this hard bottom inside, these fish are going to be moving up straight up against these more inner, outer islands as well.
The only thing that's thrown me through the loop is we had that 2-3 days, Zach, where it was tough. It was hard fishing.
While you're on there, Louie,
It was like a ghost town out there.
show some of that yellow bottom like there's
But,
for trout.
when
Out there on
when
the
those
outside.
fish take cover and they just disappear, we ran all over,
Oh yeah.
and there was like a ghost town. It was kind of creepy feeling out there.
Where do our fish go?
Where do those fish go? Do they work offshore? Do they go out in the flats? Do they drop down into the Fish Creek troughs? So that's something you got to keep in the back of your head too, because that was earlier. Wasn't it earlier this week? What day? Sunday.
Yes, yeah. It was a,
Tuesday, that cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Talking about that yellow bottom, we were talking about, guys, this this is what I was talking about. It's literally what we're saying is yellow bottom. You're gonna want to drift all the way across this stuff. Even in sometimes these deep pockets, they'll be on the edges of those and all that. So Zach caught a lot of fish right around here the other day.
Louie, you got anything else, brother?
Like I said, simplify. Don't
There's no reason to bring the whole story with you.
don't bring it all with you. Focus on one thing. I would bring pinfish, I'd bring cut mullet, and I'd bring shrimp. Some days you're going to find fish that want to eat shrimp. Some days you're going to find fish that want to eat pinfish. Some days you're going to find fish that don't want to eat anything, so you throw a big piece of cut mullet out there and hope he's ready to suck that thing down.
We have the one tackle tray rule. when
That's
building
right.
a tournament fish.
sure.
Don't bring the whole tackle box. Just
Keep it simple.
you pick out your 2 colors, pick out your 1 hard bait, your spoon.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely.
So, well, I'll tell you what, that being said, let's go over to Captain Zac Zachary and Captain Carey Gibson over there, the casting couch presented by
Ayinde Matthews,
Boom.
State Farm, right there.
There it is.
Yep. Guys, Carey Gibson here, man, myth, legend,
Oh, stop.
fish
Here we go.
slayer.
Oh, that.
He's gonna do something a little different. He's gonna go over Homosassa south down to Chaz, kind of Bayport area, staying within the county. We're gonna start with trout since we were just talking about that. We're gonna kind of bounce back and forth between us and then the Cheatin' TV over there. Show you guys kind of what that golden bottom's looking like. And then redfish, snook, kind of go over everything, different lures, different tactics, basically what we're looking for when we're out there guiding. You go down the shoreline, you see something you like, you're like, okay, that's what I'm going over for. So basically just kind of go over that kind of stuff, and I'll be, kind of talking with you throughout the time.
So like Louie was talking earlier, on this trout thing, everybody, it's no big secret in the Homosassa area, Crystal River, for you guys. We all love our nose hook, soft plastics. I tend to use my nose hook soft plastics. I'll give you a little technique I use. I like to throw them. I throw them as far as I can get them to go, first of all, because your bite's mostly as soon as it hits the water. From there back, I'll do a real slow reel, and in that reel, I'll give it a slight twitch, a double twitch, twitch, and then I just continue to reel. Where I find a lot of people miss your trout is that when the fish hits the bait, a lot of times guys will stop reeling. The whole trick that I've always found is rod tip up and continue to reel. Your success rate will go up 1,000 times. As far as my trout bite lately, I'll be honest. I was laughing at these guys earlier. I said, trout right now for me is like muskie fishing up north. It's the fish of 1,000 casts to find one keeper. But I did find some fish earlier in the week on some yellow bottom. And I also found some fish in kelp beds in the mouth of the creeks. So that kelp's starting to produce some decent trout right now.
And so if you were fishing this tournament for your trout, what would you personally be throwing? Would you be throwing your artificials covering a bunch of ground, or would you be
I typically stay away from live bait for trout this time of year.
Okay.
I think covering water is absolutely the key, like Louie said. You got to cover water once you get in them, because you guys know as well as I do. You be out there and we'll be on trout, and they're all 14 3/4. And all of us know that fish, on a regular basis, know that that's pretty much what they're going to be together. I'll tell you, I love to throw a 808 Miridine.
Okay.
That is probably bar none my fish catching lure as far as a hard bait goes.
Gotcha.
And the trout Miridine, the trout color works really well also. That's another good one. Yeah.
And then now when you're going along and say you hooked it, you're fishing your artificials, you're drifting along, and say you hook into, you land an 18, 19-inch trout, are you going to power pole down right there and work that area when you're in a tournament? Or are you just going to keep on drifting?
Look, my experience of that is every time I power pull down, the fish move off.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's just, I keep drifting.
Yeah.
Then once I get out of the fish, I'll continue to drift, and then I'll fire my motor up, and I'll make a huge loop and come back around on it.
Okay, so you're not just going to keep on going. You're going to, when you get out of those fish, power up and then come back. So you're going to essentially keep working that school.
Oh, sure,
cool.
Sure. But
Gotcha.
I know there's a lot of guys that, use that method. You get into the good ones, power pull down and, pick through them.
Yep.
It's just never, I've just not had a lot of success in my career of doing
that. Yeah, because I've never trout fished next to you before. I mean, you're Homosassa, I'm Crystal River. And when I get on them, I personally, if it's at rock bottom, I try and look back and find something I can put that power pole on to drop so it
drag it completely across.
Yeah, and make so much noise and all that. But I'll power pull down on them, and specifically if I know if I catch an 18, 19 inch trout out of there, I'm going to go get a nice pinfish, you know, that's 3-4 inches long,
Sure.
and then float it on a cork through there, free line it through there, and that's typically how I'm going to, you know, be able to go and get my bigger fish. And then if you guys want, let's go over that golden bottom on the Cheatin' TV there and show those guys what the golden bottom looks like. So.
And look, if you can find any of that yellow bottom that's got some kelp growing in it,
Oh, that's the bomb.
dude, that's money.
That's what I'm finding.
That's
all
money.
up in here. There's gonna be a lot of that kelp growing in there.
So guys, if you just look at that, you can see all that green, and then you can see all that yellow on there, okay? All that green is going to be your grass and stuff like that. Then you can see that lighter color, that's going to be sand, and that's going to be that rock bottom, golden bottom, yellow bottom, we call it. And then if you zoom in on some of that, you'll be able to see pockets of brown in there. And when you see, and it might not be on this picture. I don't know what time of year they took this picture or not. There might not be any in there, but you can zoom in and find that brown in that yellow bottom, and that's going to be your kelp in there, and that's specifically what I'm targeting this time of year. Yellow bottom, and then that kelp gives them the cover, you know. So that's basically what they're going to be sitting in. For the tournament, I would do, if you don't have specific locations you're wanting to go fish, I would basically make big long drifts, start plugging along. If you're catching 15, 16, 17 inch trout, I would just keep on going until you get into that 18, 19, you know, size, and then start floating your pinfish, floating your creek chubs, you know, throwing chunk mullet out, whatever the case may be. That's really good. If you go off to the left there, you can see, keep going up, straight up, up, to the left of that skull in the middle of the screen, right there. That bottom right there, guys,
Doesn't show much on FMT.
go right more. Right there, right in the middle of the screen. That area right there, guys, that's going to be, you know, your more kelpy area and a little bit deeper water. So if the tide's low, look for that darker bottom out there, and you'll be able to you know, get a little deeper water form, and there's going to be cover, and you're also going to have your rock bottom out there. You want to move over to redfish and tell us what kind of the redfish are doing?
Yeah, so south, redfish bites pretty much where it should be.
Let me interrupt you just for 1 second. I do not rig my pinfish any different for the trout or the redfish. I hook everything in the tail, to answer your question, Jason. Go ahead.
So yeah, the reds are pretty much on target where they should be this time of year.
Okay, cool.
Just to jump back to trout real quick.
Yeah.
We got a real pleasant surprise last Thursday, I think it was, on a trip, and out there plucking away on some short trout, and just ready to move, and my client hooked into my personal best pompano on my boat.
Really?
Yeah, man.
That's
dude,
pretty
that
cool.
Was bad to the bone.
That's awesome.
21 inch.
Dang, that's a good one.
That is a monster pompano
That
over
is
here.
huge.
To the fork?
Yeah.
To the fork. That's
Yeah.
impressive, man. That's a big one.
Yeah, that was a nice fish. And he didn't, yes, for real.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and he didn't know what it was, you know, and he's like, is it a jack? And I so bad wanted to tell him it was, because I wanted to eat that jack so bad. But I couldn't do it. I explained to him what it was, and I told him, I said, you'll probably never catch another one like this here. But anyway, back to the redfish. Yeah, redfish are on target. Nice redfish, too. Like Louie was saying, I've been catching some redfish with some serious shoulders on them.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, they're like pumpkin balls, man.
You find the one that didn't go out there to the spoil banks, that's the one you want. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, for sure. As far as catching redfish, I'm still throwing chunk bait. You know,
Okay.
while I'm trout fishing, I actually let my clients fish, and then I'll mess around and try to catch ladyfish.
Nice.
You know, with a hard bait.
Yep.
And I mean, ladyfish is like Snicker bars to them right now.
sure.
This time of year, they can't resist
Jelly
it.
donut.
Yeah,
And then,
jelly donuts.
And then when you're hooking those ladyfish, what's your method? Using a jig head? Using just a hook? Let
I
it free
use,
line? Or?
I'm still old school. I use a J hook.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah,
Some
that's,
people may not like it, but it's
it
the
works
way
good.
I fish.
It works real good.
Sure love the
I
feel of
think
setting the hook.
if you can walk your clients through on how to hook a fish when the fish hits.
Yep.
Very rarely do I gut hook fish, you know, by doing that.
Go ahead and tell them how you set the hook on something like that.
Well, for one thing, when a red hits it, there's no mistaking it.
Yeah.
So what I instruct my clients to do is, as soon as you feel the rod tip with any force whatsoever, to go ahead and set the hook.
Okay, gotcha.
If don't let the fish swim off with the bait.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this year they'll do that too. Some of them are sneaky. They'll swim over there, and next thing you know, somebody's like, "Oh, I got a fish on."
Yeah.
It's a quarter mile that way.
Yeah.
But
And guys,
yeah.
also feel free, if any of you guys out there watching have any questions for Carey, please, anytime. We can see the screen here, so it pops right up, and then Carey can answer those questions for you.
Yeah, I'd love to. But yeah, the Reds incoming tide for me right now is working well, probably as most.
Now, when
fishing-
you're down in Homosassa and Chaz fishing for those redfish, down there, are you still looking for the mullet like you are up here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You see them loping mullet, you got to stop.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
there's no doubt you have to stop. But typically, kind of like Louie, I like that very first part of that incoming. If I have enough water to get started on that, a lot of times we don't have enough water, but if the day presents it, absolutely. Or I like the very, very end of that high water.
Gotcha.
Because I know them fish are going to be pushed up in the bushes.
Yep.
And they're pretty easy pickings when they get up in there.
And let's go ahead and, does anybody have any questions for redfish or trout so far for Carey? And we can go ahead and start on the snook too, and then when we see them pop up, we'll just answer them as they pop up.
Yeah. So snook, believe it or not, been catching a lot of snook on hard bait.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
always fun.
Yeah, 9MR11, which is a mirror lure. It's a mullet. If you look it up, you can go to Mirror Lure and look it up. The 9MR11-11. It's a topwater suspension. I've been walking the dog with it, and the snook are destroying it.
Heck yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and that's down south, so they've been pretty regularly the last couple of days, like non-stop action.
Pretty good size, kind of middle,
Yeah,
underslot, middle
they're
slot, something
anywhere
like that.
from 20 to last night we caught a 29
Nice.
and 33 last night.
Heck yeah, man, that's great.
So yeah, I mean, and they're scattered in between.
Yeah,
there.
that's perfect.
But,
That's perfect.
Back to the tournament fishing thing, like everybody was talking. I fortunately don't get to fish it because I have to work, probably like you too. Yeah, some of us work for a living around here. But look, the biggest thing I could give you on tournament fishing or any fishing is, people all the time say, how do you guys go out and catch fish all the time? Well, one of the big reasons is because we fish when the fishing's the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we fish tides.
Or we know how to
And-
use social media.
Yeah. So what I would say to the average angler out there is, your weekend angler, don't waste your whole day. Granted, being on the water is beautiful. You'll find a nicer place in the world to be on the water at than right here on Nature Coast. But if you're targeting to go catch fish, target the right tides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your success rate will go through the roof.
100%.
It'll be amazing.
All last week, I didn't pick up anything before 11 or 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was late.
Yeah.
Kenneth's got a question. Best snook tide.
So we've been catching snook this week at the very, very, very end of the incoming, and just when that tide starts to turn and go back
cool.
out. It's been the best bite that I've found.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Are you finding a lot of those snook in bigger schools or kind of spread out down there?
I always, when you get up here around the islands, we all know there's
that's
a
cool.
trillion snook that stand there and let you take their picture, but
Yeah. That's why I wanted
I guess
to
I'm
go a
not
little bit further south.
qualified enough to catch them all the time, but typically it's, a snook here, a snook there.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
Jason Anderson's got a question for you. He says, for Carey, what's the best piece of fishing advice you've ever received?
Everything I say, honestly. What was the last thing I told you, Carey?
You know what mine is? West.
West, yeah.
Go west.
Probably never to ever think that you know it all,
Oh, yeah.
because in the fishing world, egos get boosted.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what the best fishing advice guide-wise I've ever been told. You're only as good as your last day fishing.
Yeah,
It's true.
So there you go. We all have bad days.
that's true.
Should have been here yesterday.
Huh?
You should have been here yesterday.
Was it bad?
No, I'm just saying that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
ongoing
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You should have,
yeah.
all guys yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guide for a living, but I go other places and fish and hire guides. So I hear the same thing, and I just chuckle.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I feel
I
like
got another question for you, Carey. Rick Largell, what's his favorite topwater lure and color for snook in the Crystal River area?
that's hard for me because I don't fish Crystal River a lot.
What's-
But I would have to say the good old Spook Junior.
Oh yeah, you can't beat them.
Can't beat the Spook.
I like that bone white, like mullet
Bone white,
color.
yeah.
yeah.
What about you, Louie?
My favorite artificial bait for a snook?
Topwater.
Topwater and color.
Top water?
Yeah.
I like to work this jerk bait on top of the water.
Yeah, true.
No, like, and I'm talking like he's wanting to know an actual,
True top
like
water.
legit
hard
topwater.
bait.
I mean, I'm
Topwater lure.
Can I answer?
a donkey.
Yes.
All right.
Probably
Gary.
my favorite.
So,
I've been dunking.
Jaywalk Berkeley is coming out with a new topwater. They're just launching it now. It's called the Jaywalker.
That is a sweet lure.
Yeah, I finally lost it. I had a prototype of it, and it's bright, shiny silver.
It's chrome.
It's chrome, and it was nasty.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
best topwater bait. I refuse to use any of the topwater bait until we can get stock in our hands on them.
You know what's funny you say that. So they still make them, but Hedon makes a little torpedo.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bass lure.
Huh.
They make one in silver. And it's funny you say that because back in the day, we used to throw in things. The problem is the hooks aren't very strong.
Yeah.
And you get a decent snook or redfish on it and they just waylay
See
you. But yeah. Hedon makes one.
I kind of got to
Called
wonder if
torpedo.
it's the reflection on it.
Yeah.
You know, if,
That chrome,
Like
it's
chrome.
shiny.
yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if you paint it like a pinfish, that fish isn't saying to itself, hey, that looks like a pinfish, but it's acting weird. Let's go ahead. I feel like it's got to have some sort of.
Well, I feel that when you're throwing topwater, you're triggering fish on a strike aspect of
Oh, yeah.
pretty much they're mad.
Yeah.
That's my
You're
favorite
putting,
part
you're
of
putting
it.
something in their
You're
living room that
tricking
ain't
them.
supposed to be there.
Ooh, I do like these
and,
ones.
And they
You're
want to get
actually
rid of it.
tricking the fish.
So, this is gonna be my best tool for Saturday.
Did you get new ones in?
These are the pink lenses here. So,
You
all
gotta try the
right,
pink
Sean, you ready to go to commercial break when we come back? Carey,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Awesome information.
Anytime.
Zach, you got anything to add?
No, man, he got it good. We're getting ready for the tournament.
Getting ready. All right, let's hit a commercial break. When we come back, let's give away
More
something
Extreme
for
Decalz.
free.
Hey Gary, what you doing? As nice as that sounds, what if we went and did something a little more custom? Do you know anybody that might be able to make a switch panel like this?
Let's go talk to Brian.
I think Brian would be a good idea for that.
Cool, let's go.
It'd be sweet.
Oh, Brian. Hey, man. What's up, brother? Got a cardboard cutout. Can you make it into something for me?
Absolutely, let's do it. All right.
What?
This is our dash panel complete. Just wanted to throw a huge shout out to Brian up there at Extreme Decalz. Nailed it. This is exactly what I had envisioned when I drew literally a cardboard cutout for this to become a true dash piece and showpiece at the same time. Thank you very much, Brian. I'm super stoked to see this thing on the water.
Always pay attention to her.
Or pay.
You know what my favorite part about these Bahios are?
Everything.
I just saw on the screen that I was still wearing them. It's like
I know.
it's
I catch
crazy,
myself wearing
yeah.
them indoors quite often.
I love these. I'm excited to put these to use on Saturday.
Telling you, the pink's where it's at, especially going to be for that early morning. I'll be having mine on too.
It's where it's always at, Billy.
Ain't worth his
Yeah.
time.
All right, so we're gonna give away something.
Yeah, from the look on Bree's face, it was a pricey item. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in trouble, but So I tell you what, Louie, why don't you throw over here what we're going to be giving away? Toss that bad boy over.
Oh boy.
There it is.
Oh.
We're going to be giving away, speaking of tackle bags, we were talking about this earlier.
Yep.
We're going to be giving away a Akuma tackle box bag.
It is. It
Tackle bag
is
clog.
a soft tackle box bag.
Soft tackle box bag.
Bag.
So got all kind of zippers, got a front tray, some tackle trays. I tell you what, I love my tackle bag. Hopefully my new one's going to be here tomorrow. It's time for a new one.
These are pretty sweet.
I'm actually getting a whole backpack size though, so I can put my GPS and everything in it. But this is very convenient, very easy to use. The only recommendation that I have is keep chapstick inside of it and just smear that on the zippers at all times.
Absolutely. Has 2 boxes inside. I mean, it's got the goodies in it.
Oh yeah, it's a nice bag, expensive bag. That's why Bree's not gonna let me sleep in bed tonight. Anyway, so this is what we're giving away. And tonight's question, we said this earlier, has to do with our new sponsors, Phillips Auto Group.
Yep.
So I think it's a pretty simple question. You know, let's see how much our viewers paid attention last week. So we'll ask the question. We'll go to the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week. And then when we come back, we'll spin the Wheel of Fortune. And whoever lands on is going to win the sweet Akuma tackle bag.
Throw that thing over here. I want to look at it.
Throw it over to Zach there. See what he got.
Pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, super nice. All right, so the question, Billy, why don't you ask the question?
The question is, where is the 3 Phillips locations that they do their auto sales at?
So they have 3 different. They have Toyota.
Yep.
They have GMC.
Chrysler and
Buick.
Dodge.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. That's a Dodge.
Yeah.
I was corrected by a number of people.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's actually Ram for the trucks. This was John that told me, so I don't know how legit it is, but
You're talking about our John here?
yes.
Don't ever listen to him.
Okay, never mind. Just don't even.
What? Oh, Bree's shaking her head at me for something. Google it. Everyone else is Googling it right now. So the 3 locations. So when you were saying there's a difference between Ram and Dodge?
I don't know. Just
No, there's no way. It's a Dodge Ram.
I know, but he was telling me something about they call
Ram
the
is
trucks Rams.
Yeah,
and
it's their
then,
own separate line.
yeah, okay,
Phillips,
gotcha.
Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there we go.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So
Learn something new every day.
they got Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram.
Yep.
And Jeep.
They've got Toyota and Ram. Sean said Ram as well.
Yep.
They've got Buick, GMC,
And Ram.
and Ram, and Toyota. So literally,
Jeep.
If you're looking for a vehicle,
They have Jeep?
there's really nowhere else to have to go look.
I heard a rumor they have Ram as well. Is that true? Sean says a goat or a Ram. They've got it all. But
Can't
what
dodge
they
it, Ram.
have is they have community support.
Yes.
You know, they support the small guys like us. So again, we cannot thank all the folks over there at Phillips Auto Group.
You know,
for-
they called me last week just to see how I like my truck.
That's pretty sweet.
A month later, they call me, hey man, just making sure you like your vehicle. Are there any questions you have? You've had time to be in it. You know, this, that, and another. And I honestly had a couple questions because I'm not going to open up the manual and look at it.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know. And I'm like, yeah, what about this, and this? And we sat there on the phone for 20 minutes.
The only
know?
thing the Ford dealership ever called me for was, hey, your truck's finally out of the shop again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You know, Don stopped by to get some tackle and some BHUs yesterday, day before, and he's like, you know, we were all getting a real big kick out of what Billy said, that, you know, what'd you say about Zach, probably a mistake selling it to Zach because it'd be the last one.
It's the last vehicle they'll ever sell them.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
And I got the 10-year
any more
warranty
money
on
off Zach.
Have you broke 100 miles on it yet?
Oh, dude.
Oh, you took it down the Keys.
Yeah, and up there to North Carolina. I mean,
Yeah, he's put some miles on it. And I'm happy
yeah,
to see it.
there's almost 4,000 miles on it already. And that's what I would have put on that vehicle in a whole year.
I know. I love how
cushy.
you'll drive. You live out in Crystal River off Fort on Trial. You'll drive out here to Ozello now just to ask a question.
Oh, man, I love that thing.
You just love driving.
I'm looking up the question.
Welcome to the show.
All right, so let's. So the question was, what are the three physical locations?
Yes, correct.
Not the brands, not the names of the vehicles they sell, but the three physical locations. They sell Ram there. Sean said they do sell Ram. All right, let's jump into
Catch
Catch
of the
the
Week.
Week, sponsored by Extreme Decalz, who made this awesome sign.
Ooh, that's Grouper.
Groupas. That is Andrew with a nice Groupa. Tug. Captain caught
Tugged him
away.
out of the rocks
Old
already.
man
That's a
head.
stud on the left there.
Good fish, good fish.
Captain
Very
Gene.
nice. That's
Gene's
a
always
beautiful
killing it
red.
out there.
Yeah, beautiful red.
I want to see him
fish.
take the Ginu out grouper fishing though.
Yes.
Might catch one of them
Mr.
out
Jacob,
this year.
way to be.
Captain Jacob from Ozello Fish Company. Oh, there's the lobster tails we gave her.
Nice.
There we go,
Did
nice
you give her
red
2
fish.
bags of tails?
I don't know. I thought I just gave her one bag.
Oh, Mr. John out there tearing it up with Captain Ken.
Captain John
Beautiful
with
red
Captain
fish.
Ken.
Very nice.
Captain Ken's putting his client on some nice snook. The extended arms are heavy in this segment though.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping Bree put my black drum up there. You don't need extended arms for that one.
You gonna say who this is or what?
That is
Some weird guy out of
Captain
Shrimp Landing.
Lou Bear Argero.
No, it's Argerio.
Argerio, that's what it was.
Florida Fish. There is that nice. You know who did that boat?
Beautiful wrap.
Does anybody know who wrapped
I
that
know
boat?
who did that rap.
Oh, Brian at Extreme Decalz kicking it once again.
Dude. Louie, are you happy with the service there?
Extremely.
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 Extremely decals happy.
Very
Captain
nice
Choupé.
Shoopaloo.
Tedith. Stanley. Nice red fish.
Very
All right.
nice. Love seeing everybody getting out there and doing some catching.
Do we have the board filled up yet?
She's still on Google.
How many more we got to go? Sean said everyone keeps answering Ram. All right, well, there's something else I want to talk about tournament fishing is always, always, always don't put yourself in a rut of quantity. Search for quality.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
So typically when you're catching redfish and you're 19s, 20s, 19s, 20s, 17s, 18s, get out of there. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Wrong?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Let's
Run
roll
the
together.
bank, go find another spot, and see what else might be able to produce.
Same thing with trout.
Guys, and also,
Yeah, definitely a trap.
You could leave that spot and come back an hour later.
oh
Big fish
yeah,
be there.
oh yeah,
For sure.
Just run and gun. That's what I recommend. Hit a spot no longer than 10 minutes unless you know a school's going to show up there, because we all have spots that you literally have to sit there and wait, and then they're going to be there for 10, 15 minutes, and then they're gone.
You know they're just rounding
So
the bank.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, other than that, you're wanting to cover as much ground as you can, as effectively as you can, and make sure and have everything tied up the night before. I bring multiple rods, so you got rods for live bait, rods for artificials, and just be prepared, be ready when you're getting up to those points, because you could be sitting there with nothing on your hook and you're going up to the point and here's a big spool redfish 20 foot off the bow, and then you're starting to fumble around looking for your stuff.
Getting
Yeah,
excited,
just
though,
you got to
yeah.
be ready. It's yeah. Oh no, never. It's a tournament. You got to be,
So Sean just shared some exciting news. He just figured out, was it the last episode really, Sean? You figured? No. The last episode he figured out the whole YouTube live thing.
Right.
We thought we were doing it live this whole time, but we were not. So the last episode was the first one. We have our first Friday Night Fish Talk YouTube live contestant right now. We've got on the Reel of Fortune. So
that's pretty
Welcome
cool.
in.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
yeah. What's that person's name?
Oh, it's filled up.
Carl Crane. Welcome to the show, Carl Crane. All right, we got the Reel of Fortune. Come on, Brianna White. Brianna White.
Brianna White.
Do we want to let old Captain Carey do the spin?
Absolutely. Come on, Captain Carey.
All right.
Come on.
Put some oomph into it. Mario barely flipped it last week.
Yeah, I tell you what. If he spins a
any
wheel like
direction
he
is
does a
easy.
rod, huh?
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
All right.
Make it a
This
good one.
is the
Let's do
Wheel
it.
Wheel of Fortune.
I'm gonna go with blue.
Purple. Red.
Okay.
Red.
Yellow.
Because you don't hang anymore.
Here we go.
Yellow.
Who we
Red.
got?
Oh.
You're colorblind, Carey.
Zach M.
Oh no, you know what it is? If you look at the screen, it's got a little white thing right there. Y'all cheating.
White.
It's right here, Carey. Right here.
Zach M. Who's
See
Zach
that on
M,
that
Sean?
screen?
Who do we got?
I
Brianna?
see this little white thing like right. Hold on, let me get my hand over here. Right up.
Oh, you're seeing light?
There. Yeah.
Zach Maddox?
You
Is Zach
Maddox.
Maddox watching right now?
Maddox.
Zach Maddox?
Maddox.
Tune on in. Make sure you're still watching.
You are right there.
We got to start reminding that in order to actually claim your
There he
prize.
is.
See there? Zach, congratulations. Ocala, Fruitland Park, and Leesburg. Yeah, last week I said Summerfield
Way to be.
on accident. They don't have a location in Summerfield, but it was because Joe First was here and he lives in Summerfield.
Yeah,
So,
Gary embarrassed us all for that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. First week with the new sponsor, and I said the
Thanks,
wrong
Gary.
location. Congratulations, Zach Maddox. You just run that sweet Okuma bag. Come on down here to Ozello Keys Marina and pick it up whenever. It'll be downstairs with their name on it. Guys, once again, thank you for watching Friday Night Fish Talk. Captain Carey, thank you for joining us. Captain
Thank you for having me.
Louie, Florida Fishing Adventures, talking tackle on the tackle table talk.
Presented by Bush Home Services.
Presented by
is.
Fish Home Services. And then Captain Zachariah, Zachary, Sean, Brianna. You guys, catch some fish this weekend, all right?
That's it. Good luck in the tournament if you're in it. And yeah, you guys
Yeah.
better catch something this weekend.
So we'll see you next Friday. All right, today's Thursday, isn't it?
See you next
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah. We'll still see you next
We'll
Friday.
still see you
We'll
next
still
Friday.
see you next,
Friday.
the following Friday.
This
Or this Friday would be tomorrow.
Now you